is the beginning of the 2010s. And with that change, many games came to show off during E3 and on YouTube, where one time, Nintendo surprised the world with something they had been slowly creating up till this point in time. The Symphony of the Goddesses, and the reveal of their next step to the Zelda franchise. A wonderful and ecstatic show of musical prowess that rivals the musical industry, one that has established their momentum for over a decade. And with this show, they also presented the gameplay of this episode for the series. Gameplay that involved more than motion controls, the art style heading in a hybrid stance between Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, creating the now known The Legend of Zelda, the Skyward Sword.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
Ahoy, Jettis and Littlemen, I bid you a wonderful morrow in 2025 for you boys and girls and the technicolor rainbow in between. I hope you grab your drinks, your snacks, told everyone how fucking bonerific you are for this year, because I sure am. I like my fucking erection so massive for this year that I fucking broke my desk. Yeah, this past year was fucking insane. And now that I say that, I realize we barely started the fucking year and we have shit already happening. But aside from all that, how can I introduce you to a specific timeline? A timeline when the 2000s were beginning to be left behind. The gaming industry was having multiple changes in a war zone of competition to one-up each other. And meanwhile, Nintendo was just sitting there with a very fun creation unlike any other.
We would like to play.
The Nintendo Wii was the first motion control mainstream console that the industry had witnessed in its full fruition. For its simple capacities and game prowess, it made the rest of the competition quake in envy. It has been one of the most successful consoles of the Nintendo lineage. I fucking used that Wii till it became fucking dusty. And as the Wii began to make its scene and others tried to mimic its motion control aesthetic, we witnessed a huge variety of the Wii. The Wii had a huge difference in variety for the gaming culture. It was experimental and flexible, and there were many games for everyone. Fuck, I had one of the weirdest collections in gaming, but as the new decade began to come, we witnessed YouTube and Google have an internet monopoly. Furries starting to become mainstream, PewDiePie and Markiplier forging the bridges for the gaming YouTube sphere. Coney started to happen, and whatever the fuck is happening here.
And a dancer make it sparkle and shine. We gotta shake it up.
Oh, and we were told that the world would end in 2012 because of fucking indigenous Mesoamerican calendar ending at that year.
That one didn't age quite so well.
As the new decade started, so the showcasing of a wonderful game coming to my favorite franchise. Skyward Sword was a game that I was curious to play. Everyone was talking about it and fucking hype. The publicity was out of the park, and even fucking Tabascus made one of his literal trailers with that. I wonder what that guy is doing nowadays. Oh. Nevertheless, while everyone was humongously excited for this game, I wasn't.
You what?
Now, don't get me wrong, at that time, I was very skeptical because of the art style and the motion control gameplay. I mean, why wouldn't I? The way I was introduced to the new generation of Zelda in this millennium has been fantastic, but I was always skeptical. Except Twilight Princess, I still fucking jack it to that game even to this day.
What's wrong with you?
But as the years passed by and I finally was able to play Skyward Sword, I realized I was wrong to be skeptical. I was so wrong to be thinking with doubt. Because I should have never gone with peer pressure curiosity and buy the game, because after playing enough, I fucking refunded it.
What? 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 What?
I never despised a Zelda game as much as Skyward Sword. Even to this day, I remember the fucking boiling hatred. It was wrong, it felt wrong, and I didn't know what to say or do. I've always been loyal to the Zelda franchise, and I've always found something good with their games. Hell, even Majora's Mask, that is not one of my most liked games, I still found beauty in it. But this was the first time I refunded a fucking game for disliking it. So, what happened? Why did it affect me so bad, and why am I now looking back at it? Well, there has to be something good in here that I can express. There is a reason the memory still lingers with something good, so let's hop and dive into the game where Link becomes a fucking hell diver.
Launch initiated.
Let's first start with the story. Skyward Sword starts as an origin of the entire franchise. Yes, it is the fucking Adam and Eve from Zelda. Even though Lilith was actually Adam's first wife, and then he divorced her, and then Eve came along and they boink.
I'm gonna kiss your face off and buttfuck your pussy.
But aside from biblical mythology, this Zelda takes us to the war when the great goddess waged war against the embodiment of all evil, Demise. This demonic being left the goddess mortally wounded, and all she could do was seal this evil for many centuries. She took her own people that became her descendants to the skies and the islands that floated above as safe heavens. Now this becomes the old myth for the people of Skyloft, the place where this brunette Link exists. People celebrate that some hundreds of years ago a hero came to defeat Demise. It's not the most congruent story, but it will make sense later. And here is Link. Link here is... goddamn, he's a fucking sleepy Joe.
Golf is fun, but the 9-hole takes too long.
Oh, what, Joe? Are you gonna fall asleep or something?
So, Link starts by showing the interactions with different characters, bullies, the mentor characters, the economy of this place, and most importantly, Zelda. Zelda is the most resilient and emotionally invested character of the franchise in this single game, and it truly shows with the relationship Link and her have, as they keep very close and she flirts with him a lot. Of course, Grooves over here, the head jock bully, has a thing for Zelda.
And buttfuck your pussy.
Dude, honestly, Grooves might not seem like it, but this fucker has Riz.
Ain't my fault, everybody wants some grooves. Ladies after my caboose, cause this grooves is getting loose, Zelda.
Why does he look like a Gerudo, you might ask? Well, there's theories out there, but nevertheless, let's wait for that.
You're teasing me, you naughty.
The young people in Skyloft do their celebration by dressing up as Link in his Smash Brothers costumes, and do some challenges with their love wings, which are great fucking giant-ass birds? Now this Link is autistic, so he cannot read the room nor understand certain priorities of the day, and has to search for his love wing, and then do the challenge and yada yada. Of course, one thing is that Link has strange nightmares where he is falling from the sky and a huge gargantuan beast devours him. Foreshadowing. Then Link and Zelda have a bit of a date on their births, which honestly, imagine going on a date with Link. Link would be the most freakishly interesting interaction in the world. Motherfucker that speaks a lot but can't fucking say a single word. He probably gets mad puzz. I mean, look at how many girls get moist on him in the franchise. Link gets bitches, but they don't know that he's just a chill guy who likes to adventure around.
Nonsense! We're adventuring a bank!
Put the money in the bag, or I'll adventure your goddamn face off!
Are we robbing a fucking bank?
We're adventuring a bank, Timothy! Keep up!
But in reality, it is kinda cute how Link and Zelda interact here. It's rather heartwarming and promising. Link has a nice ass though.
Why are you gay?
And of course, we get cockblocked by a fucking tornado and Zelda and Link separate. But Link gets fucking depressed and worried. Everyone is losing their shit and Groose is fucking high on his horse saying bullshit. Also, have you noticed I haven't mentioned the gameplay yet? Oh, that's because holy shit, the fucking controls! Firstly, the waggling of the Wii remote is so impressive, but still very annoying that you have to change your angles of swinging your sword to do actually damage. Then the controlling of your bird, well...
it's just... asinine!
And also, we have a stamina meter, oh fucking boy. This is the first time Link has had a stamina meter, and it's fucking stupid. This is probably one of the weakest Links in the franchise. I'm looking at you, Oracle Hero! But nevertheless, after a few dandy interactions and controller bullshit, we get introduced to Fi. Fi is a spiritual being that is guiding Link towards his destiny, because apparently she has chosen him to wield the goddess sword, and she is the spirit of the sword. By the way, this fucking sword is massive, like it's so long compared to the other ones in the franchise up until this game. But the promising part of wielding something godly is always iconic, like the Master Sword, foreshadowing. You know, this fucking game is foreshadowing in a nutshell, for fuck's sake. The nightmares and Zelda's disappearance are no coincidence for sure, and Link has to now travel to the Forbidden Land, the surface, where none of the Skyloft people have gone. Up to a new long adventure with a fucking Alexa inside my sword. God, that sounds like a fucking plot for a Cornhub video.
Zelda!
Link!
Oh boy, smooching time!
After all of these little Brazilian fucked up activities, Link finally arrives to the land of Hyrule. Arriving to the surface, Link encounters two things. An old hag that warns Link that what he shall be facing, and a woman named Impa, a Sheikah of which were once the servers to the goddess, and they both have similar hairstyles. Foreshadowing. You know, at this point, just take a fucking shot every time I say foreshadowing, for fuck's sake. Up to this point, I have at least 3 shots in my system. But through this entire exposition, Link witnesses the beauty of the surface. I swear, the textures and colors in the game are phenomenal, even to modern standards. And the music of a soundtrack, Jesus Christ, it fucking hits. This time the game has a full live orchestra to create their music, and it's fucking beautiful with every single tune. I remember I didn't struggle to go where I needed to go, for the sword has a system that guides you to your next spot in your quest. Plus, the enemies are here to teach the player how to use a sword. Also, there is a gate where Link has to use the harp to be able to travel through time both in the present and in the past. Which I am totally okay with this, because I know from Ocarina of Time this can turn out very well, right? Right?
I'm not much on speeches, but it's so gratifying to leave you wallowing in the mess you've made. You're screwed. Thank you. Bye.
And of course, every time I picked up something, I had to listen to Fi tell me what the fuck it is. What does it do, and why I got it. Is that right, Fi? You know, granted, Link here is a bit autistic, but you don't have to treat me like I have more brain damage than the Mormon wives.
I thought it would be cute if you guys each drew what your perfect vagina looks like to give me info.
So going forward, one encounters the first dungeon in the game, the Skyview Temple. The Skyview Temple is not only the tutorial dungeon, but one that will be revisited multiple times in the story. And also it allows the player to adapt to the game's mechanics, both for combat and for their gadgets, like this fucking flying mechanical beetle. Okay, hold my fucking beer. You mean to tell me we have a robot in the beginning of the Zelda franchise? Wasn't this a medieval fantasy? Are we going into D&D territory or steampunk shit? What's next, fucking Hextech beings?
Let me make one thing perfectly clear. This is not jumping the shark. I can repeat that again. This is not jumping the shark. No. This is jumping the shark, coming back, shooting it in the balls, raping it, eating its flesh, consuming its soul, mounting its head on the wall, and then doing the same thing to 12 more fucking sharks just to be safe!
I spoke too soon. I can't take it back. I fucking hate this game. The challenges alone and mechanics are well designed. And after some combat adaptability, we finally learn how a boss battle goes. Thanks to one of the best villains in the entire franchise, Girahim. You see, Girahim is the demon lord, and he plans to revive his own lord, the god that shall vanquish this land, the Sealed One. But because of your interruption and impulse, he wasn't able to get his hands on Zelda to sacrifice her to revive his lord. So he has a humongous temper tantrum, like Shenpai on Twitter. He also likes to fucking use his tongue as a mocking tool. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! You know, I'm not into it, but I can understand why someone would say, hear me out. Nevertheless, the combat begins, and honestly, it makes the player feel like they are against a more prominent and experienced player. I have felt that before. Imagine you have now gotten the hang of fighting, and you feel strong against others. But suddenly, the Muay Thai guy with 6 years of experience, motherfucker, challenges you, and you get humbled to the ground. That's this fight, and it hits Girahim, even toys with Link as he grabs a sword with his bare hands and uses it against him. It's rather humiliating, but it forces the player to adapt to this kind of adversity and bosses. Also, it has a lot of storytelling. Yes, you are a wimp right now, you are nothing to the world, but you won't be for long. After facing Girahim, he is done playing with you and decides to move along and disappear. Just like Shenpai on Twitter. Though this establishes not just what awaits Link, but what is at stake, because this entire time we forgot one important thing. Link is not doing this just because it's fate. Zelda, the one girl that is in love with Link, and he is in love with her too, and is willing to go through this gigantic odyssey with no experience whatsoever. For this is a call to adventure. It's not by a choice. It's what the heart beheads. And the heart can overcome any obstacle. With sword in hand and a fucking breakable shields. Oh god, even then we had foreshadowing! I'm going to fucking die here. Starting the adventure of Hyrule, Link is always having the same thing repeated to him. You are not ready. And that kind of resonates to me. How the world reminds you that you are good at what you're doing, but it's not enough. It's heavy, it's humbling, but to linger in that feeling and drop down your head, how do you even expect to move forward? That symbolism is embodied by Girahim in the sorceries throughout this adventure. It's the dragon the player must overcome, and what every person growing up must push through. That is the adversity of Skyward Sword. It teaches one to learn that the world is always an obstacle, but one has to overcome, to be patient, to be observant, and to adapt, overcome, and improvise.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
The grandest thing about Hyrule is going to be the other dungeons, for Impa is guiding Zelda on her own struggling growth to become something else. And Link is being guided by Fi in order to become the hero of legend. That little ruffling you heard in the background is one of my cats right now trying to get my attention. Jesus Christ. And so they have to search for the sacred flames that shall awaken the sword of the goddess, the Skyward Sword in its full prophesied potential. For that one has to pass through many elemental dungeons. There is a volcano region where Link must adapt to his physical capacities to overcome every single obstacle the fires of this hellish place blaze upon him. Plus, the bomb bowling mechanic is fucking hilarious and at times fucking annoying. There's also a desert where this was a growing lake and rivers, which makes it feel like the Sora lands of Hyrule. But in here, Link must use multiple futuristic gadgets to mix the present and the past and reawaken the growths that once existed here, plus some fucking robotic species with— wait, what?!
Oh no!
Fun fact, a lot of theories have surfaced from the Time Stones in this game being the same color as Ocarina of Time, which would probably explain and expose the spiritual, elemental, and chronomancing powers the Ocarina of Time beholds in the Hero of Time's existence.
And knowing makes it even more confusing.
There is also expansion upon the land, and there is legends of dragons that are intelligent enough to converse with Link. There are different beings that seem like the ancestors of the races we have known in the franchise so far. Plus conflicts that have existed, like a pirate crew that once delved in the lake region and overthrew it. Then the story of our little robot friend's family that vanquished without him being able to save them. Then there's dragons that are in a state of sloppiness, as if they have failed their own purpose for centuries. And they have come content with just being alive. The Magma, a tribe that lives in the volcano area, tend to have a good survival and harmony in this sphere fiery place. But as they have been ransacked, they have nothing left but survival, they are also in the slums of their existence, almost at the extinction danger. The Kiwis, which are forest beings, are doing their best to adapt to the constant changes of the land, but they can only do so much. They're sort of useless compared to the other races, but they still live along, learn to love and be loved by the ecosystem. There is a certain tragic beauty in the land of Hyrule, and as for the sky, there is a demon that wants to become human by trying to push Link to help others, just like in Majora's Mask side quests. There is social interactions to help others regain trust and reconnections among each other, and to learn to conquer the heavens in order to do all of these trials. It seems massive, and it kind of is. But what can you do when there is one single goal? Do you just let go, or do you truly push through every single unforsaken obstacle? One thing I learned from Skyward Sword is to truly never letting go of what one really necessitates. When there's cruelty, there will be a knight in green tunic, and he is never letting go of Hyrule's harrowing cries of help. After the gigantic and graveling and fucking linear odyssey, which I have to say, the fucking world of Skyward Sword feels like a level select screen from a Mario game. There is barely any exploration aside from the sky, but the sky barely has anything. But nevertheless, finally the sacred flames allow the Skyward Sword to reinforce itself. We faced many hurdles. Fucking finally stood up to Garahim to equal level to the point of raising his level of concern. And now we can reunite with Zelda. Also, Groose is here. The one thing I want to point out is that during this adventure, there is a recurring fucking monster that is the Imprisoned One. The seal Lord Garahim wants to revive, and also Link's Fortune Nightmare. I never truly thought about it until now, but it is very brave for Link to face the one thing he truly developed a phobia from conquering nightmares and overcome with true valor. It is inspiring and empowering, and the fact that Groose in the beginning is still so self-centered about his involvement to save Zelda. But learning and witnessing how Link is the chosen hero, he stands down but still helps in his own way. He pulls his weight off with his talents. Those abilities Link cannot fulfill, he fills them up, even helping in the battles against the Imprisoned One. It shows a lot of character growth, a character one truly hates in the beginning, and you learn to love him because of his own evolution. But then, as Zelda reunites with Link, she expresses what she has learned. Not just her love to Link, but how tragic it is that their destinies intertwine. For she must use her new learned powers to keep the Imprisoned One sealed forever. For Hyrule cannot afford another war, as even centuries after, it is still healing from the last war. And with a shit ton of information, Jesus Christ, Link, that face! I swear, this is my face every time I am told anything, and I just zone out to random memes.
Wow. I like your pee-pee.
But now, a new phase begins in the adventure for the hero Link, because this is not the end, not even halfway. After the ungodly exposition of both history and necessities of the future of Hyrule, Link gets a bitch slap of reality, for Zelda must use her powers for the safety of the man she loves, and for the future of their people in Hyrule. And so she seals herself using this godly power to reinforce the seal of the Imprisoned, and Link cannot do a damn thing. In this scene, I just watch it. These two were just kids. Kids that didn't know any better. They had a wonderful, peaceful life, full of laughs and joy. But with the presence of evil, everything changed. And once they had more responsibilities that split their time together, now they are at a crucible like no other. It's heartbreaking, and it puts the pedestal of what is at stake for Link. And there is a bigger reason to keep on fighting. Link can now awaken the Sword of the Goddess to its full prophesied potential, the Blade of Evil's Bane, and now named the Master Sword. This canonical makes the birth of the Master Sword. After so many renditions in the franchise, this is when it became the blade to vanquish all evil, with Fi being the spirit behind it. Fi slowly during this entire adventure, showing more and more small glimpses of sympathy and empathy, emotions, understanding and appreciation to Link and his surroundings. It's character growth, beautifully made.
And now for something completely different.
Now the next step is to create the Song of a Hero of Legend, the one that shall complete the ritual to put an end to all of this. So Zelda doesn't have to be Zeal in this fucking chunk of jar- wait, a jar? No.
All my bitches and hoes objectify women. Finna bust a nut tonight.
The backtracking here is insane. One has to revisit certain areas, but with the new gadgets and abilities. Also, we get a chance to get the Hylian shield, which, wait a fucking minute, mate. You mean to tell me the Hylian shield exists here, which was the original shield for Hylian knights, the servers of the royal family in Ocarina of Time. Now it's here? The fuck? Nintendo, please give me some sense of timeline direction. Fuck! Nevertheless, the challenge now is much bigger. To rearrange in dungeons and face even bigger challenges, and it's also reassuring to have Groose with Link's back. Facing the imprisoned some more times in the present and finally help the dragons fulfill their purpose upon the land. And Girahim come back to finish what he once started, as he knows the end of his lore comes with the creation of the Trifold. The forces of wisdom, power, and courage, which this Link is the first to complete all the Triforce pieces and use them. The present and past of Hyrule must be saved. The end is near. But this isn't the end of Link. I know the Green Knight won't let Zelda down, and Girahim knows this, and at desperate times, one must fall to desperate measures. We face bigger and more symbolic and treacherous challenges. We face the challenges of the Guardians of the Goddess. In this sacred realm that fucking sucks. We defeated even the embodiment of Hell and its Buddhist Grim Reaper. Hell, we even had a lot of Easter eggs to other Zeldas in the franchise. We also found the last challenge inside Skyloft, which comes all full circle. It started at home and it ended at home. It's fucking symbolic. The dragons completed their song, and after all of this, to finally reunite with Zelda and Groose, after bonking this motherfucker with Skyloft. I'm sorry, but in what fucking universe, to defeat the bad guy, you have to drop an entire continent into its fucking skull? That's fucking genius! 10 out of 10, plus 5 stars, A+, 100% rating! As the prison is completely obliterated in the present, Girahim, of course, kidnaps Zelda again after being liberated. Again, desperate measures. He goes back in time and he finally takes Link serious and gives him everything he has. Both in a giant army to face and with his full potential. Now, finally, as Link defeats him in this badass battle, he fails to stop the imprisoned to come back to life, as he reveals himself as Demise, and Girahim now revealed to be of the same species as Fi, a spirit of a sword, the anti-Master Sword. As this Akuma-looking motherfucker says that he will end all existence, but he wants to face Link in a one-on-one if he truly is the chosen hero of the goddess. And so, with Zelda at risk, Groose and Impa doing their best, it's all up to Link, but he's given a chance to gather himself before facing him. Which, why do you do this? Like, you let me go full fucking up. Like, do you want me to get fully upgraded and beat the shit out of you? What are you, Goku?
Goku!
Now hear me out, King Kai. If I let him power up to 100% and beat him then, he'll demoralize him. And he'll never threaten anyone again.
Goku, that is retarded!
Stuffed crust, King Kai! You can eat it in reverse.
I will say the battle music is fucking badass, but the battle is rather underwhelming. Symbolic, of course, but this battle is tedious in all regards. But finally, after all of this, it is the end. After so many obstacles, Link and the rest can finally breathe, rest, resonate, and Jesus fuck, this game put me to a patience test. I of course refunded it, and yeah, used the money to buy something better. But what could be better than Skyward Sword? Oh, 3 games. I swear the third-party games in the Wii are so fucking unique. I truly hated this game. I still fucking hate it. The gameplay was unfathomable. The mechanics and demanding motion controls gave me a fucking headache. And I do know not everybody had the same struggle as me, but it was a huge turnoff. So why am I talking about it now? Well, because of Link. I can hate the game all I want. The linearity, the gameplay, the system, the quests, the fucking asinine bullshit. But story-wise, this is the most beautiful story in Zelda that has ever existed. Eiji Omuna truly wanted to make a novel like Zelda, a very strong driven adventure, and he succeeded. In no other game did I feel for a relationship of the damsel in distress and the growth of the hero like this one. It's truly the story that has existed countless times like Star Wars, Camelot, Harry Potter, Batman, etc. It's a repeating trope, of course, but if there is something I learned from Anthony Bean, is that the story in every game suffices a different facet of a hero. There are no two equal links. There isn't a single similar story for the same player, for the experience is always different. But in Skyward Sword, the story is not of heroism, but of love, of how far one is willing to push through their flaws and obstacles, no matter how harsh they are to reach the person they love. The story of love for Link in every game has always been different, but Skyward Sword truly has embodied it in such a way that it surpasses every other Legend of Zelda game in the franchise. The expressive passion in the game resonates as such. And yeah, it is a flawed game, but the emotional investment I had during the story is what made me push to playing the games many years ago. I can say that I respect it. I cannot accept it with its flaws, but I respect what it brings. The unfortunate thing is that this will never happen again. The tragedy of Skyward Sword is that it was the end of an era of its own systemic genre. Zelda games were known to be in a certain explorative system with questlines, but it separated from its roots, a full open exploration with no limitations. While Skyward Sword was the extreme opposite with hand-holding and linear design, it limited the game humongously. Eiji Amuna truly felt this, but as he moved on to the next project, he expressed how the coming form of the Zelda games would establish their future, and it truly has, which is both for good and sour. I enjoyed what story-driven Zeldas can bring, but while their systemic genre has changed, it makes Skyward Sword a relic of an entire era. An end to an era many of us beloved. While many still fought for years how to master the motion controls, Nintendo always kept leading it on with proper charisma and domination. And when Skyward Sword was released on the Switch, I can say I was curious, but I never played it. A part of me wanted to, but the resilient nostalgic teen I had lingering in my ear told me that it was okay to keep that memory. The memory of the Wii in my hands as I still struggle to play it. It might not be the best memories of Zelda I had, but it brought tears in many regards. Not just from the memories, the time and the story I've witnessed. Because I was able to go in person at a Comic-Con at some point and witness this. The live shows of a Symphony of the Goddess have always been the most beautiful renditions in full orchestra of the Zelda franchise, and it helped me witness and reminisce of each game I've played of the franchise. It made me be inspired to even play the 2D Zeldas aside from each Link to the Past and Link's Adventure. And that's when it hit. When I heard the movement of the Hero of Time's medley for both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, it left me feel the entire passion behind their music, what the flow of growing up feels like in every single regard, and how much it means to look back and realize how far one has come. Wind Waker taught me how to cope with the idea of moving with the wind to the unknown, to the vast world. Twilight Princess taught me the responsibility to embrace both the good and the bad of the world, and to keep going forward to a better version of oneself. And Skyward Sword showed me how powerful it is, the force of love, and take one to the things one is willing to do for the person they love. And that resonated with me. I've wanted to learn more of the franchise, and I can thank Skyward Sword for that, for teaching me to be okay with the feeling, and to be willing to love and be loved, for true love never dies.
I have waited for this moment.